Ethics Complaint Process. The Arizona Association of Realtors, AAR, is responsible for enforcing the Realtors Code of Ethics, adopted by the National Association of Realtors in 1913. The Code of Ethics imposes duties above and in addition to those imposed by law or regulation, which applies only to real estate professionals who choose to become realtors. The professional standards process is a very important part of a Realtor association and helps to ensure honorable, faithful, and competent service to clients, customers, and other members of the public. This information is to help you understand the professional standards process. Many difficulties between real estate professionals, whether realtors are or not, result from a misunderstanding, miscommunication, or lack of adequate communication. If you have a problem with a real estate professional, AAR recommends that you speak with them or with a principal broker or manager in the firm. Open, constructive discussion often resolves questions or differences, eliminating the need for further action. If, after discussing matters with your real estate professional or a principal broker in that firm, you are still not satisfied, you may want to contact AAR to consider our other dispute resolution services, ombudsman, mediation, and buyer-seller mediation. An ombudsman or public advocate is an official, usually appointed by the government, who is charged with representing the interests of the public by investigating and addressing complaints of maladministration or a violation of rights. If, after taking these steps, you still feel you have a complaint, you may want to consider filing a formal ethics complaint. You will want to keep in mind that only realtors and realtor associates are subject to the Code of Ethics of the National Association of Realtors. If the real estate professional or the broker you are dealing with is not a realtor, your only recourse may be the state real estate licensing authority or the courts. AAR determines whether the Code of Ethics has been violated, not whether the law or real estate regulations have been broken. Those decisions can only be made by the licensing authorities or the courts. AAR can discipline realtors for violating the Code of Ethics. Typical forms of discipline include attendance at courses and seminars designed to increase realtors' understanding of the ethical duties or other responsibilities of real estate professionals. Realtors may also be reprimanded, fined, or their membership can be suspended or terminated for serious or repeated violations. AAR cannot require realtors to pay money to parties filing ethics complaints, cannot award punitive damages for violations of the Code of Ethics, cannot suspend or revoke a real estate professional's license. Many issues result from a misunderstanding or a failure in communication. AAR recommends that you first make reasonable efforts to communicate with your real estate professional or a principal broker in the firm. If the issue is still not resolved, then consider AAR's ombudsman and mediation alternative dispute resolution processes. If you decide to file a formal ethics complaint, keep in mind that the entire process can take between 90 and 120 days. The process: ombudsman, mediation, filing an ethics complaint, before a hearing, the response, preparing for the hearing, after the hearing. AAR and WeServe follow the same process. We just want the attendees to know that WeServe processes complaints as well. A real estate professional's membership in the association distinguishes him or her from non-members. Realtors voluntarily accepts the obligation to meet the standards of practice and conduct outlined in the National Association of Realtors NAR Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice. NAR Code of Ethics and Arbitration Process. The West and Southeast Realtors of the Valley processes ethics complaints and arbitration requests filed against their own primary members. The West and Southeast Realtors of the Valley is the only local association in the state of Arizona that processes their own complaints. If you belong to any other local association, a complaint filed against you would be handled at the state association. Arbitration requests that are forwarded to a hearing by the grievance committee will have a mandatory mediation prior to a hearing. Ethics mediation is also available upon request. What are the advantages of mediation over arbitration and litigation? Mediation is less adversarial than arbitration or litigation. The arbitration process produces a decision imposed upon the parties whether they like it or not. With mediation, the parties will optimally settle their differences by consensus rather than by the decree of a hearing panel. Mediation is more likely to allow the parties to maintain their former relationship. By achieving a win-win result through mediation, all of the parties should feel that they are getting fair treatment. This should optimally preserve or even improve relationships between the parties and make it easier for realtors ER to work amicably with each other in future transactions. Mediation is quicker and less expensive than arbitration. Because of the less confrontational process involved, mediation takes less time and effort. In addition, under the new NAR requirements, mediation will be offered to members free of charge, except for a nominal filing fee. If the association determines that it must hire an outside professional mediator, the association, not the participating parties, will bear the cost of the mediation. Mediation is more flexible than arbitration. Mediation provides a casual forum in which the parties can design a creative resolution to their dispute. They have a vested interest in the successful outcome of the mediation and may be more likely to comply with the settlement than if the decision is imposed on them. If the parties cannot reach a settlement, arbitration is still available to them.